Well, what he's suggesting is against the law. And so the very first thing that we're doing is preparing to go to court to prevent or stop what he's attempting to do. Second is drawing attention to the fact that it's illegal, unconstitutional. Frankly, it's un-American to send troops into American cities when there's no emergency, there's no insurrection. And he's only doing it because he wants to disrupt future elections. He wants to cause fear and, frankly, to inflame people on the ground by sending troops. So nice to meet you. Appreciate you. We're responding to what Donald Trump is saying about Chicago. It seems like Chicago lives rent-free in his head, that maybe I live rent-free in his head. He mentions Chicago and me quite a lot, and has, by the way, for the last, 8-10 years.
What do you think that is?
I don't know. There's something about Chicago that sticks in his head. And even though the facts belie everything that he is saying about Chicago, he keeps talking about it. And he's, talking about how somehow you can't walk down the street in Chicago and experience a peaceful, beautiful city. That's just wrong. But they're not giving you those. And you would think that if you're going to take this truly drastic action, that you would have to have a drastic situation on the ground, and that you'd want to know what the facts are, and so you'd call people who are on the ground who are living it every day, like the Chicago PD or the Illinois State Police, but nobody's received any calls, and particularly not me. You guys are, kind to be out here today to help us out. He talks a good game. He wants to reduce crime, he says, but then he does things that are, frankly, defunding police and defunding our efforts to fight crime. No, listen to you. You are a charmer. Come on. My name. How about help us hire police? Instead of sending troops into the city of Chicago, how about help us with violence interruption, which is something, by the way, that we have some really good teams of people that do. And now he's taking money away from that.
My name is Mrs. Foster.
Mrs. Foster, JB. Very nice
I know
to meet you.
I voted for you.
We have terrific troops, but they don't belong on the streets of America.
And that's the catfish with the crab on top.
Okay, so and I get to take all that with me. There you go. Do I look like catfish to you?
And I'm here today to share the anger and the disdain that all of us are feeling inside. And I know none of us thought that in the year 2025, the President of the United States would choose to spread lies and fear about our communities and then use the National Guard to attack them, attack all of us. The ignorance of this decision is staggering. At a time when crime is at an all-time low, not just here in Chicago, but across major cities in America, this administration is ignoring the truth, which unfortunately isn't a surprise anymore. The presence of the National Guard will not bring safety. It will bring fear, hurt small businesses, and it will traumatize and re-traumatize families who are still healing from the past harm.
Chicago is going to be clear to this president who tries to identify ways to be able to silence us, to silence dissent. But that the attacks on Chicago, Illinois are not about safety and security, we know that. They're about trying to terrorize the resistance.
President Donald Trump has been very critical of many American cities, but especially Chicago, New York City, Seattle, San Francisco, Baltimore, and Portland, Oregon. He's suggested, threatened to send National Guard troops into those cities like he has in Washington, D.C., to fight crime. He says Chicago is a hellhole, a killing field. Yet statistics, crime data, show that most violent crimes in these communities have been on a steady decline. Homicides in the first 6 months of this year are down in all 6 of those cities compared to the same period in 2024. Interestingly, despite national data that shows violent crimes declining, there is a difference in public opinion. A majority of Americans polled have said recently that they believe that crime is a major problem in big cities. So there's a perception that runs counter to some of the statistics. While the president has talked about what he sees as an unacceptable rash of violent crime, it's interesting that experts say that more than 90% of police calls have nothing to do with violent crime. So it's really unclear what the Guard members would do in these big cities.